trying so hard to find proper lighting to make this video. There's none. There's absolutely no proper lighting today. It is so dark and gloomy outside. It looks like it's 6, 7 o'clock at night, and it's been like this all day long. I don't think I've seen sunlight in about, I want to say about a week. It's been probably close to a week. I think the last time I saw it, I was at work, and that was, I think, last Thursday or Friday. So it's been pretty bad. Today is Christmas. I am losing my mind. I got up this morning and I tried making a whole vlog for you guys. It was going to be a day in the life vlog, completely edited, because my editing system started to work. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, so we're back in business. Got done making the video, made my ending, and I went to go save it and post it. And my phone decided that its storage was full and it wasn't going to post the video. It wasn't going to upload it. It wasn't going to save it. It wasn't going to do anything. And it gave me no choice, but I had to delete the whole entire project and scrap it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm just going to make this regular old-fashioned video that I used to do, just sitting here talking to you guys, because that seems to be the only thing that can work for my phone. I don't know, until I'm able to buy a new phone. I'm hoping that by next Tuesday, my next Monday or Tuesday, I'm buying a new phone. I want to get an iPhone 13 or 14, if not an iPhone 12. And I know that's not the new phone. That's not, I think we're at like the 16 or 17 now, but I can't afford that, so that's way too much money. But anyways, like I said, I'm losing my mind right now. The kids are off on Christmas break, well, winter break. They're off on winter break until January 6th. That is when they go back. I'm really struggling today, because by the time I made my last Vlogmas video, I was already in my menstrual phase, and now I'm right back in my luteal phase. Everybody knows I have PMDD. I talk about it all the time on my channel. I have a whole entire playlist called Women's Reproductive Health, and it's a specific playlist that I saved. And I talk about women's reproductive health, because it's a big thing. It really is. And it's something that it doesn't really get discussed a lot. It's not something, it's kind of like a thing that people don't really, they're like, whatever, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And that's been going on for centuries, where people have been disregarding women and acting like women's mental, emotional, and reproductive health is not that big of a deal. I found out about premenstrual dysphoria disorder back when I was 34 years old. I was probably about 33, 34. I didn't know what it was. I just thought that I was losing my mind. And that's when I really started to go on the journey of reproductive health. And I started to find out about premenstrual dysphoria disorder, post-menstrual syndrome, ovulation symptoms, ovulation problems, and hormones, and all the stuff that go with it. When I started making these videos, women would comment on them and be like, thank you so much for making this video. You have no idea how I appreciate this. Like, I thought I was losing my mind. And it makes me so happy to see those comments, because it literally, that tells me that I'm making these videos for a reason, and that God wanted me to make these videos because somebody out there needed to see it. So today I'm going to talk about what I've been going through, and I know there's probably another girl out there that's probably going through the same thing, and maybe she would like to hear it too. So I am going to be starting my flow in about 12 to 13 days. About 14 to 15 days before my period each month, I enter into something called premenstrual dysphoria disorder. Premenstrual dysphoria disorder is a worse form of PMS. Now, everybody knows about PMS. All women know about it, where a woman becomes moody, she craves really weird foods. We just start acting kind of weird. With premenstrual dysphoria disorder, it's a whole entire different rainbow of problems. You get chronic anxiety, depression, body aches and pains. You kind of sometimes think you have the flu. You will have sleepiness, chronic fatigue. Sometimes you'll have sleeplessness, where you just can't sleep at night. You literally just sleep for a couple hours and that's it. Hunger, really hungry. Like, you just want to eat everything in sight, or you don't really want to eat at all. Sometimes you can have vomiting, nausea, headaches. A lot of women complain about headaches, paranoia. Literally, like, you feel like the world is caving in around you. You just feel like everything. And the one thing that I heard another girl describe it as, that she suffers from it, is hopelessness. It's a huge, you literally feel like you're never getting out of it. It's never going to happen. You're never going to feel normal again. This is just who you are. And you feel like you're a burden to everybody. That's another thing. You start to feel like you're a burden. You start to feel really guilty at the things that you say and you do. You just start to feel like you're out of your body. Like, you really don't feel like yourself, and you always feel like something's missing. That's another thing that I know that I feel. I always feel like something's missing. when I go through PMDD. Today is no different. Today I woke up, it's not only that, but today's Christmas, so that's a really big stressor for me. But I have been feeling all day long extremely emotional. Like I could cry at the drop of a hat. Have I? No, because I know what it is and I know exactly what's happening. No patience. I don't have any patience for anything today. I literally walked out of my parents' Christmas event because I just couldn't take it. I was like, no, this isn't happening. Gotta go. I've been really just paranoid the past couple of days. If I cry during this video, it's because I'm venting, and that's why. I've been really paranoid the past couple of days, constantly on edge. And it's the worst, you guys. Being on edge, see, here it comes. It's the constant, it's like constantly being afraid something's gonna happen. But nothing's gonna happen. Nothing is happening. There isn't anything happening. Nothing's gonna happen, but you always feel like that. It's kind of like, let me explain. It's kind of like if you got something coming in the mail, right? And you know it's bad news. Like, you know it's like really bad news. It's that feeling that you get where you just like, oh, God, it's bad news. You know it's gonna be. That's the feeling all the time with PMDD when you have it. That's what it feels like all the time. There is no bad news coming. There's nothing there. There's nothing happening around you. It's just a chemical imbalance in your brain where your serotonin levels are so damn low that they literally are making you delusional. Like, you just start to feel like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like, you just literally feel like you're like out there and you're just not with it. It can make you feel incredibly depressed. That's how I feel today. I'm incredibly depressed. I literally can't get myself motivated to do anything. All I want to do is just sit in a room by myself and I want to cry my eyes out. Now, fortunately, my husband knows what I have. He knows what PMDD is. He's very well educated on it, and he has been around me for going on 11 years. And he knows exactly what the signs and symptoms are. He knows, and he makes the kids go. He's very patient with me. He knows when I'm going through it, and he doesn't bug me about it. He knows that I'm just struggling, and it's bad. And he's very aware when I'm going through it, too, because he usually will know, because I just, he can tell. He's been with me for 11 years. He knows. But my kids, on the other hand, they're kids. They don't know they don't know when you're going through something. So it's really hard when I have to be a parent. And also, we're going through a holiday break right now, and they're home for the next 2 weeks. And I have to continue this rhetoric of, every day is the normal thing. And it is. But when you have PMDD, your brain makes you feel like it's not. But it's lying to you, and it's putting up a false filter in front of you that's not real. It's not real. When I feel like this, all of the above that I just said, the one thing that I try to do is I try to watch my caffeine intake. Now, that sounds a little weird, and you're like, what? Hear me out. So caffeine is a stimulant, and when you have PMDD and you're going through stuff, oh boy, they're playing drums. I taught them that. I should never taught them that. You don't want stimulants when you're going through the luteal phase. Now, I know it's incredibly hard. I know, because I don't always follow this golden rule. I already cheated. When you drink caffeine and you're taking in a lot of caffeine, it will make your symptoms freaking worse. It literally will just crank everything up. And now, usually in our minds, you think that when we're tired, we're like, oh, I'm kind of dragging today, and he will pick me up. We think that, swinging on some coffee or drinking a Pepsi or whatever, it's going to get us going through the day, right? It usually does. But when you're going through PMDD and you're going through all these symptoms, that little pick me up, it doesn't pick you up. It like throws you to the sky, and then you literally just feel like your brain just goes into complete overdrive. It doesn't know what to do. Excuse me, I keep burping. That's another thing. Gas. I try to stay away from caffeine. I try to stay away from as best as I can. It's really incredibly hard because I love Pepsi and I really do love my coffee in the morning. But I try to intake more water. I try to be very aware of how much water I'm drinking. And I really didn't drink enough today. I think I've only drank 2 cups. But water is a huge thing too. Also, when you start your period, it's because of the cramps. If you have, cysts or anything like that, the cramps will be incredibly worse if you're dehydrated. But when you drink, water kind of flushes out a lot of the hormones that are driving you insane. And I heard progesterone is the sleepy hormone, and it can make you incredibly tired, and it will make you just really drug out. They usually say to drink a lot of water because it will flush it out of your system. Science. I try to eat a balanced diet, and I know that's not always easy either, especially if you're a working mom or if you're just a working girl and you're working full time. It's not easy to just sit down and just start eating carrots or something. The thing is that you have to keep aware of is, did you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? So if you go to work, I'm pretty sure you get a lunch break. If you do get a lunch break, make sure that you try to eat something. Don't just starve yourself, because that's where the nausea and the vomiting can kick in, especially with PMDD. I know with me, I almost threw up at work last week because I didn't eat anything. And by noon, I was so nauseated, but blessedly enough, gratefully enough, my work ended up bringing in lunch, and we ended up having pizza that day, and it was great. It saved my butt. So, but if I wouldn't have eaten that day, I was pretty sure I was going to throw up at least once that day while I was at work. It's normal to feel fatigued. It's normal to feel on edge. It's normal to feel weepy and feel like you're going to cry. It's normal to feel like you want to be alone. It's normal to feel hopeless, like she said. But the thing is that you have to remind yourself that these symptoms are temporary and that these feelings that you're having are not going to stick around. Once your period starts, it all changes again. And this is another thing. When you go through a traumatic experience like I did about a week or two ago, I went through the traumatic experience when I was in my follicular phase. I was in the kind of like the beginning of my follicular phase. And sometimes when you go through traumatic events, when you hit your luteal phase, it'll make your whole entire like PMDD worse. It makes your serotonin, because your serotonin levels were already low once your PMDD kicks in, and your serotonin level. Are you sure you want to have children? So anyways, that it will cause your serotonin levels to drop more, and when they're already at their lowest, any traumatic event that happens in your follicular ovulatory phase symptoms will be worse usually in your luteal phase. Just try to remember that. I had something really bad happen 2 weeks ago, and I didn't handle it well, so now here I am struggling. I'm going to cut this video short. My kids apparently are not going to allow me to make this video. I might talk about this later on, maybe in a part 2. I can't do edited videos anymore because my phone will not let me, and it's just refusing. So peace out, you guys. Hope to speak to y'all again soon.